Hi, welcome to Being Beta, where today I'm going to take you through the setup and a review of Bramblecrest round table with 6 chairs. Okay, so we ordered this about 10 days ago online, and we ordered the cloud version of the 135cm round table. Cloud has a glass finish. There's a nutmeg version as well, which is non-glass and a non-tree finish. It comes with a parasol and the base, and then we've got the 6 chairs with the water resistant cushions as well. So in terms of delivery, arrived on a pallet. We broke down the pallet and then just walked it up to the back garden, and it's all in good order. There's nothing broken, so happy with that. Okay, so we've got everything laid out for the table. The tools that we need, little Allen key and all the washers, etc., along with the instructions, were included in the box. So first thing we need to do is flip the table upside down. Okay, so the first thing to do is get this section and pop it on, and then you've got a washer and a screw, and then you're going to use the Allen key to tighten it up once you've done it hand tight. Okay, next thing is to grab this particular section, and then again you're going to use your 4 screws with washers to attach on the inside of the original section. Okay, so that's the table setup. We had to adjust some of the screws underneath just to make sure we had it nice and level and it wasn't rocking too much. So next thing we're going to do now is lift the glass, and again face it sort of the cap side with the washer on before I pull it off, down onto the table. Okay, so that's the table set up, the glass on top. We're now going to move on to the parasol. So coming on to the parasol now, first thing I'm going to do is take the base. It is quite heavy, so just be careful with this. But you can see under here there's a screw, a nut screw, which I'm going to hold in place, and then just move the sort of locking nut, if you like, down, and that's going to stop the screw slipping back through. Like so. Perfect. Right, lay that down, watch my fingers. Next thing to do is take this cap and pop it on top, and then you're going to take this tube section here, and there's a thread here, and I'm just going to thread this on to the base like so. So once that's all the way on, you can see here you've got spacers, and I'm guessing that's because Bramblecrest have different parasol diameters on their tubes. For this particular parasol, we have to take these spacers out, and then the parasol will fit down, and then you can lock it in place using these nuts. So I'm just going to carry on tightening this tube in now. So I've then got this section of tube that I'm just going to thread into the top section of the parasol itself. Again, I'll do that until it's nice and tight. Next thing I've done then is pop the base under the centre of the table. I can take this blanking cap out of the way, and now I can slide the parasol down and into the base. Okay, so just lifted the parasol into place. It's definitely helpful with 2 of you, because essentially one can hold it above the table and keep it vertical so you're not putting any pressure on the glass, and then someone can go underneath and just guide it into the base itself. You then lower it into position. Those couple of screws you saw earlier, that's just going to hold the pole in place. And then in terms of operation itself, pop the head under the canopy like so, and then just start, it's on a ratchet system, then you just start winding it towards you, and then it opens up like so. Okay, so I'm going to come on to the review stage of the video now, and I'm going to break it down into sections. So the first section is just going to deal with the delivery itself. So we're really happy. It arrived, like I say, 10 days after we ordered it. There was nothing broken when it arrived. The only issue is one of the chairs has arrived without a cushion. Now, we've read other reviews which said people this had happened to them as well, but they then got in touch with their retailer and or Bramblecrest, and they sent the cushion out. So we're in that process now. We've emailed, we're waiting for a response. We are in COVID-19 lockdown at the moment, so it is taking a little while. If they don't honour delivering the cushion, then I'll do an update video to inform you of that. However, if there is no update video to this, assume that the cushion was delivered with no dramas. So the next stage of the review is the setup itself. So it's really easy to set up. The chairs all came assembled. The table was really easy to put together with 2 of you, just because it is a little bit heavy with the glass top. The parasol as well, really easy to set up. The only issue though was when putting the parasol in, the metal cap popped up. Now this might just be an odd one out, but the metal cap popped up, which meant that when I was putting it in on my own, the pole ended up at a bit of an angle and actually splintered the glass. Now it's just surface splintering here, but again I was a little bit disappointed that this wasn't properly glued in place and would have prevented this. So I shouted for the other half who came in. I was able to hold this in place, and then she's able to guide it down into the base, but this splintering has happened because this metal cap popped up. So just a little bit disappointed on that side. So going to talk a bit about the build quality and utility. So the build quality seems really good. You can tell it's a premium product just in terms of the finish on it, right down to the little footings on the chairs themselves. So feel free to pause the screen if you want to have a look at these in a bit more depth, but this just talks a bit more about the quality of the product itself and the features and benefits. So in terms of the parasol itself, it is water resistant. You can remove these and hand wash them. They also dry on the frame themselves. They're recyclable. They've got a year's structural guarantee. They're rust free, which is great, and so on. In terms of the actual material itself, these are all frost resistant. You've got these season proof cushions which are made from recycled plastic as well, which is great. They're recyclable themselves, easy to clean and all the rest of it. So in theory you could leave these out and they are season proof. We'll be storing them in the winter just to improve their duration. But all of this is great stuff. It's a quality product that you're paying for, with some really good features as well. In terms of utility, the chairs are lightweight, which is brilliant. It's going to make them a lot more manageable than some of the heavy garden furniture I've had in the past, particularly with kids as well. This is going to be really useful. I think the only thing, it sounds a bit obvious, but because it's lightweight, it could be a bit more susceptible to wind, which we get flying down this hill here. So we're just going to have to make sure we mitigate for that, either by putting them all under cover or indeed packing them away at certain times of the year when the wind gets quite strong. So in terms of the table utility, it's a really heavy bit of kit, and we make sure we adjusted so it's nice and level, nice and solid. So again, this feels really good in terms of quality. The glass finish means, particularly with young children, we've got 3 young children, it's going to be nice and easy to clean up at the end of the meal. You have got the tree finish on the nutmeg version, but again that seemed recessed, so we thought with kids and having the hassle of having to clean or brush it down at the end of every meal that we eat out here, it wouldn't work for us. However, I think the aesthetics, and it is personal opinion, look better on the other version. But in terms of this glass finish, perfect for us, useful with kids, and nice solid finish. Now in terms of the parasol utility, it's really good having this ratchet system. It makes it nice and easy to put up and bring down, because I know in the past when I've had cheaper products, if they slide up and down, it can be a bit of a hassle, particularly on bigger canopies. The only limitation on this is that the actual pole height itself can't be adjusted. So the only way, so you're quite exposed when it's full setting, particularly we've got a bit of drizzle coming in sideways, which we can feel when we're sat down. So the only way to mitigate for that is actually to release the canopy slightly, and then that'll lower the the canopy itself and make it a bit of a steeper angle, which means you're going to get better coverage in terms of height, but also if it does start raining and you start getting water running off, then that might just run down the back of your net. I appreciate you may well not be sat out in the rain. However, if you're eating outside and a shower comes along and you don't want to take all your food inside, this could be a bit of a limiting factor. So the final sort of utility with the parasol, it wasn't included on any blurb that we had, but this is, according to the website, UV 50 plus protection as well, which is great. It means we're nice and protected when the sun's out and we're eating underneath the canopy. So the final part of this review is just going to be looking at usability and then finishing up with value for money. So when we're looking on YouTube, we didn't actually see many videos of people who actually sat, so we couldn't get an idea of height. But again, the lightweight chairs make it nice and easy to get yourself tucked in. There's a good bit of foot space underneath because the parasol base is quite small, and even with this you can still tuck your feet. You've got the curved edges so you can get your feet underneath as well. And then it's about this sort of height. I'm 5 foot, just over 5'10", so you get an idea of the height. We've had the kids sat at the table and they were dead happy. Again, we'd probably stack up extra cushions just so they're a bit higher. And then we went for the 6-seater version, and there's plenty of room here. You could all eat your meal quite comfortably with drinks. If you have your little starter plate out as well, there's plenty of elbow space basically for when you're using this. So value for money, in our opinion, we paid £1,000 for this. My other half is amazing at finding deals. She found a really good deal on this particular set. It is at the lower end of the Bramblecrest range. You can spend a lot more for more stuff, if you like, more seats, larger tables and so on. So this was £1,000 UK pounds for this particular set. We think on balance it is good value for money. It's got all the features that we wanted. It looks durable. The proof will be in the longevity. So again, you know, we could do a follow-up video in a year or two and see how this is weathering. There's only a couple of things I'm a little disappointed with. This turning up loose, which caused a little bit of splintering on the surface of the glass table, was a bit frustrating. I was under the impression that should have been fixed in place at factory end, so that was a little bit disappointing. And then not being able to adjust the height of the parasol itself is a little bit frustrating as well, because if we could lower it, then we'd have a bit more coverage with canopy when we're sat down here if we get any sort of showers coming in, or indeed the sun as well. But again, we knew this when we bought it, that the canopy size was only slightly bigger than the table and chairs itself. So we may look at in the future, once we've saved a bit of money, at having an offset parasol where you can sit it off to the side and have it coming over and tilt it accordingly. But overall, really happy. So thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, share and subscribe to help other beaters out there too. Take care.